a little bit before my time, Hunter. So maybe if you wanted to give him his flowers, bro, as that was, like I said, a little bit before my time.
Yeah, one of the greats. He played on Lager and Revolution off the top of my head. I do believe those were the teams. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, just overall a very good survivor. And played a little bit of the obscure killers. I've seen him play Cenobite and Artist. So yeah, definitely a very good player, a very good pickup for Zetsubou. Both teams being in our group as well, Jump. So this will be pretty interesting to kind of suss out what to ban, what to see, who's good at what. You know, we've never seen Rebirth play their new NEA team to the scene, at least to this organization. So very exciting stuff. Like especially picking Blight, they must be very confident to go up against Zetsubou. The Blight going all the way down, rushing all the way down to main and breaking this door nice and early. We're going to have to see if we can spot out any stealth out survivors. We did see the survive spawn at the top side of the map, and we see some scratch marks over here behind main, over at the one section leading into main. Now we're going to be rushing around, and it's going to be a little bit hard to get around this mid section of the main that we all know and love as survivors, but we'll be vaulting that window, and I do believe we have found Baki on the ace. He'll be taking chase all the way around main, back all the way to the back of it as well, and we're just going to not opt to chase that. I do kind of agree with this decision. A little bit dire in sorry, no, it's just a little bit of a not really the first chase you want to be taking in the match. So we're just going to go to get something more in our favor, and we're going to be whiffing that, unfortunately, on Key pre-dropping that pallet over at 5, and now utilizing this window and getting tagged through it, unfortunately. Now he's not on ping, I don't believe. If this is NEA, he's on less ping than the other survivors. I think everyone else would be around that 160 to 170. Oh my! All right, that I definitely wasn't expecting that for a first chase.
Yeah, no, we did see the pre-drop of that pallet down at the 4 lane, proving that they were playing it a bit safe, even able to delay the tag there with a little bit of a missed swing, but didn't really make it far for that. That was actually quite a quick down, all things considered. Not able to get the mid-gen finished as well, which is, if you know, pretty detrimental. But no, it looks like Crane's in ripping, Nick, to be honest, bro. That was quite a quick early down around the corner there, little bender. So not too bad from Big Crane. I love to see that from him, mate.
Yeah, definitely. And now spotting out more survivors over towards this 9 side of the map. We're going to be taking this tag nice onto Sen, who will be running all the way down to mid, all the way inside. I think Baki and Sen have opted to go for this switch around on the survivor mains here. So I was like thinking, mate, I was going to call him Baki for a second, but slapping that pallet in Crane's face is going to be Sen running all the way at the back side of the map now, going all the way down to the front side, utilizing these pallets nice and effectively. That's a double stun. He's going to be running all the way around main now, and we do hope those generators over in the background are being progressed. Corrupt intervention is wait, no, sorry, it was gone. Well, key was broke. Key was down, sorry. Oh my god. Anyway, vaulting that pallet is Sen, going all the way to the backside again. Once more, he's playing this main tile very, very beautifully, and just going to be utilizing every like 50-50 pallet as well. Well, you call these 50-50s. They're not the strongest pallets in the world, but playing the checkbox nice and just see that as well. How do we make that? It's absolutely incredible. We're going to opt to leave this chase and go for something a little more in our favor, try to interrupt these gens being progressed over in the background, and we do see our Nancy here, who is silly, is going to be rotating all the way down to Shaq now, using this window, vaulting it first, and now wrapping around, playing the checkbox nicely. Crane's going to have to pull some magic out of the hat if he is to get a quick tag on Silly here, but Silly's not going to allow it. Pre-dropping this pallet, this Shaq pallet, very nicely played, going all the way down to 7, and oh my god, we're in for a long chase, I do believe, Jumps.
Yeah, the big man back, as I said before about Crane. It looks like Silly is in ripping, Nick, able to make that little quick vault back on that window as well. Oh, I haven't seen the big man in a while, bro. I know he's been in the scene while in the server 1v1. That's a double bump there from Crane. I think we're going to not be able to convert on this because we're using extra rush. Yeah, we're actually not going to be able to convert. And Silly has juked 10 rushes here. We do see the main pop there. Around the backside too, so you're not too bad from the big fella. We see 3 gens! Sorry, 2 gens, I should say. Sorry, let me calm down. Going there. We do see the stun from Big Man too. So yeah, CD, he's playing really, really well. I can't lie. I was a little bit scared to see The bro, getting back on his first survivor set, getting on that S tier set, but that's 15 rushes counted on the hand, 1, 2, 3, and he's gonna make this safe pallet that Key was playing earlier in the game. First tag just comes out then, so very, very well done, very well played, and I think he'll just die edge here.
Looking really rough for Crane at the moment. I didn't expect 2 generators in the background to proc, or 3 generators. I can't remember how many it was, just like that. But yes, a very good chase from Silly. Probably something around the 1 to 130 minute mark as well. So very long considering it is not an S tier anymore. I have to call him tier 1, don't I? So I kind of forget that's how the balancing works now. But now just fatiguing over here and kicking this generator over at mid 2, just trying to look for the survivor who had been working on it, and it is Sen, unfortunately, for Crane now, utilizing life on that window and trying to make this pallet, playing the checks box really nicely, pre-dropping in the process and vaulting as well, delaying this tag ever so nicely, and now vaulting back into the pallet, trying to go a little bit more to the corner side, and Crane's just not going to have it. Not getting that tag, he's going to try and opt to go for his tunnel out, but we've already reset Silly in the background, so this is looking really, really rough for our killer here at the moment, and now we're going to be spotting Silly again, breaking this pallet and continuing on the chase over at 5. The window just ever so set nicely in the vision of Silly to just take it and just try to last as long as he can, and oh my god, this is just, it's all falling apart for Crane now. It's not really much you can do. You just know everything in the background is being worked, and Silly's not even a fresh hook, faking that vault very nicely too. Oh my, and this, it's so good to see Zetsubou play so well on a pick that's not even theirs, Jumps.
Sorry, yeah, big fella. I was just mesmerized by the big fella here. He's going crazy. That was 20 rushes consecutive on this game. Juke, by the way. He finally takes a tag as well. Ripping to see him back in good shape as well. I can't lie, that's a stunt on the edge map. We do see the last gem pop. So Silly's had big Crane by the throat here the last couple minutes. He's going to rush past. Bit unlucky there not to take the tag, but Silly's going to probably outlast these rushes too. No able to convert. Very, very well played from Silly. That might be an early contender for chase of the season. We do see a premature blind there coming through very, very early, but yes, the bros played very, very well. I think that's just going to take the 4 stages, I believe this will be, too fresh, if I'm not mistaken, if the HUD doesn't deceive me. So, no, very well played from Zetsubou. First game back, looking great. Beautiful to see. Probably not the strongest start from Rebirth, but I believe this is Zetsubou's pick anyway, so what can you really expect, True?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely had me a little bit lost for words during the middle of that game. I can't lie. Just the way they played was just sensational. I don't think they could have played that any better realistically. And Crane, it's just probably not the result that he would have wanted on the Blight, but hopefully this.
It's Sen's Blight at the end of the day. It's just mesmerizing to watch. And overall, Corey, I think we'll see. I hate to say it, but I think we'll see 4K high gens here, big fella. It's hard to say otherwise.
Oh yeah, with ping taken into account, multiple other factors are definitely possible for Sen to do so, as we've seen in the past. And yeah, just I don't really know much about Rebirth. Hopefully they can prove me wrong. They did pick this set, so hopefully we can see some outs. But nevertheless, loading in is Sen now on this top side of the map. He's going to be using his rushes all the way down to the bottom side and breaking the door as you do per usual at the start of a Blight set. Very nice. Now looking at his gen spread, we got a few over here at the bottom side, kind of spread out, so nothing really tight, but definitely something Sen can work with if it does come down to that. But finding the first survivor, we have found Revolution. So on the Zarina, going to be taking chase all the way down to the 5 section of the map, pre-drop in this pallet at this 4 walls gym. Now, what can we pull out of the hat here? And unfortunately, we have been mind-gamed, and that is a very quick, very early down. Definitely not what you need if you're chasing this win con on the survivor side of 3 stages, but yeah, like I said, very early down, and Sen only needs 4 hooks from here, so looking pretty comfortable, if I do say so myself. Now we're going to be seeing, I do believe that Cheryl in the background. Not too sure what that was all about. No breakout there, so I think they were maybe planning on taking a hit with the wiggle meter, but kind of changing their mind last second, taking the tag. Now Fish God's going to be running to the backside of main, and that's just the free tag, and now that's going to let Sen go all the way and continue his tunnel out onto Revolution nice and early. Now we're going to have to last a lot longer than what we did the first chase, and doing a little bit of jiggy around this carb tile palette very nicely. Going to be running all the way down to the bottom side of the map, but this is just another imminent down here, Joms.
No, the MVP from last season, he's looking very good, Hunter, I can't lie. But that's the second hook. That is the DS coming through as well, so not the worst case for Rebirth. We do need to go on a bit of a nice chase here, and I should see some gens popping in the background very, very shortly. But no, as you see, he does need the 4 hooks, so not the mightiest of win cons, and actually has the default skin on, which is very, very insane. And we're just going to be choosing to die edge here, Big Revolution. I believe he's the main killer player. We are waiting at the Dead Hard there as well, and the Dead Hard Unbreak DS build, pretty standard stuff, and not a bad first chase. The gen progress isn't really doesn't really pay off for what the chase was worth. I don't think the chase was a bit quick, but I think they had to reset in the background there at some point, so knocked a bit of time off the clock. But no, as I said, he's looking very good, big man. He's looking very, very good.
Yeah, definitely. And now taking this hook, we get a little bit of a spectator bug, unfortunately, so we're not going to really know where he is. Use hair, I think you say that's how you say the name. Adam here's just going to be camping this pallet nice and safe, and yeah, things are looking pretty dire for our Survivor team at the moment. But we do see Sen rotate all the way down to the 8 side of the map, and maybe had seen some scratch marks left over by Maya, who will be taking this hit and running all the way down to the top side of the map now. We have decided to opt to go back and protect our hook, so we've come to a little bit of a stalemate at the game here. I do think one gen in the background will pop quite soon, but nevertheless we'll be taking this pull onto our Zarina. Is the Adam, who will be running all the way down to the bottom side, continuing on the tunnel out to Revolution, who will be running all the way down to the main side is Sen, and we're just gonna get that nice and beautiful down. No Dead Hard, no nothing, and this will just spell the end of Revolution, unfortunately, for Rebirth. Now, where do they go from here? Well, it's a 3v1 at 3 generators remaining, so it's not the best thing in the world. Definitely still outable if we've seen it done before, but this is Sen, like you said, the MVP. Like the odds of this happening are slim to none. Nevertheless, we'll be taking chase onto our Adam here, who is used here, who will be going all the way down to 5 side, and we'll be just taking the kick onto this generator. Maybe going on Gen Patrol, or no, we do have a lot of time to kind of commit this chase over around the 5 tile, and now Sen just going to opt to follow these scratch marks in the window, and we vaulted into the killer. Very unfortunate stuff for Rebirth.
No, and I believe that was the win con met there, Hunter. So very well played from the big fella. Yeah, the Deliverance is going to be coming out in the back. So Fishgold going to have to play some checkies on this car pallet here. He's going to try and movement set. Nice little V1 from the big man himself. Big grass mud horse Sen. Shout out to the big man himself. But no, like you said, able to get that tunnel out onto Revolution a bit earlier. Something that you know, he has had trouble with in the past, you know, wink, wink. But, no, able to get that quick one out on him. And that's going to be yes here, down back main as well. Sorry, not even back main, just down on the side over there. And we're going to be hooked right on top of the active as well. We've sort of just skimmed past the bro Fish God and gone all the way to Shaq. I think he's trying to 4K at the highest gens possible. And honestly, something I wanted to note below as well, the Iron Grasp. I think someone said it was like gives you like 1 extra like grunt on a wiggle. Very interesting.
Yeah, I do think so. Not too sure about that, but it is a very interesting pick. I didn't actually think that it was in the meta or anything in the repertoire of Zetsubou. I thought something a little bit more conventional, not out of the water. But hey, if it works, it works. So now we're going to be taking chase all the way down to the 5 section. This godforsaken 5 section, it's just nothing here. So this is just going to be another quick down. And yeah, things are looking really, really, really rough. Sen's just put on an absolute performance. He's going to slug this now. And yeah, he's playing for the highest gens possible. We do see Maya use Life all the way down to the 9 section of the map, but nothing really to work with other than this God Rock, and Sen's going to fatigue just short of his bumps, unfortunately. But continuing on now and trying to do a little bit of, maybe we can see like a nice flick or something, and we've seen just the little head of Maya poke out for that split second. Not able to quite get the down, but we're going to play the checkies and the mind games here. But we've already vaulted the pallet and gone the long side of the 4 walls, but kind of getting lost in the sauce a little bit. Not really utilizing those check spots quite effectively and a bit slow on the reaction times. But we're going to force Locker over here at 9, which allows us to pick up Fish God on the side of Usair. So... oh, like, there's not really much they can do here. They could probably fight for 1 more generator. It'd be very generous to get 2 and pull it back to a 4K1, but this is just all falling apart for Rebirth.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong there, Buller. It's not the best first performance, as I said, that you could have on the Killer or Survivor, but to be fair, they are playing last season's MVP, and he was a very, very big part of why they won the finals last season, especially in the fashion that they did too. I know it's still quite surreal to this day how they won. You know, everyone, you know, if you were there on the infamous day, it was quite extraordinary the way everything played out. But no, as I said, yeah, he looks good. He looks fit. You know, even like I said, he's trying to prove that, you know, he's willing to, you know, 4K at the highest sense possible. You know, he's confident. I like that, and he's going to take it down onto Fish God as well, down at Shaq side here. But yeah, I can't lie, I don't agree with the Iron Grass pick. That's kind of ego, I can't lie. But he's going to try and hook mid. I think, yeah, I mean, wouldn't get it with Iron Grasp anyway. So yeah, not too sure, not too much value, but that will be his last fresh, I believe, on the board there, Hunter. But no, well played. I can't lie. He's played it well as per usual. Just really standard stuff from him.
Perhaps, yeah, definitely. You know, coming to think of that first down where he actually dragged, I think it was it was Revolution, or you say one of the two. I think it was Revolution, all the way from 5 to like main, outside of main. Iron Grasp would have helped with that. So I don't, yeah, taking the hit, I think that would have been definitely a comm on the side of the survivors. And it probably did help him a little bit in getting that hook. So definitely probably not, maybe not ego. I mean, to be honest, like just, maybe there's something behind it, who knows? But he definitely would have had to feel very confident in his ability to 4K, bringing this into this game, bringing that perk into this game, and now finding Usair, who's just kind of stealth around 2, pre-dropping this pallet over at 1. Nowhere to really go after this. Does he go to corner 1? Does he go to main? He doesn't make main, so he's going to have to go corner 1, trying to play check spots, and Sen just, very beautiful stuff from the man himself, being able to play around and just flick and just know when to do so. But that down will come in and just another death on the board for our survivors over at Rebirth, and he's really pushing for this 4K3 at the moment. So just the demonstration of the mechanical skill on the side of Sen is just there's definitely a large difference from what we saw in our previous match for this set. So definitely take notes if you're learning the Blight. This is the man to learn from in the OCE region. Yeah, just playing absolutely out of his mind, and now going on Gen Patrol after getting a nice tag. Everyone injured on the board as well. So he's going to opt to check basement. If we can get a quick flick around to where our survivors actually are. So there's one over at 2, one over at 9. I do think maybe we do get one more generator pop, and I think that's what they're playing for. It's just the absolutely best last result. And Sen realizing it now, going all the way down to 2. And he can get a very quick down here after kicking this generator. He's going to play it a little bit safe and not go for the not go straight for the chase. And he's just opted to go back all the way down to Shaq. Maybe we can catch Maya off guard. And we do see the Call of Brine proc as well. So we do know that Maya's just working that generator over in the background. And now he's just, yeah, even it was a little bit hard for me to tell whether he'd commit Shaq or commit 2. But we get the aura reading via Eruption onto Maya. And this will just be the end of the game at 4K3, Jams.
Yeah, I mean, very well played. It's hard to. Oh, as we catch up right there at the end. It's gonna just take young Maya down to the ground, and yeah, 4K3, like you said, it's hard to really put into words when the man picks up the, you know, the controller for blood, or hypothetical controller, metaphorical controller, but he's very, very good. Probably the best Blight in the region. Probably just in OSL in general. I don't think there's. I couldn't think of anyone off the top of my head that's a better Blight than Sen, but overall, yeah, no, it is what it is. You know, 4K3 high gens. You know, letting Rebirth, letting Sen get away with, or just letting Zetsubou get away with a pick like this is really blasphemous. I'll be honest. Not a lot of homework being done, but that's all right. Overall, still a good showing from both sides in that first one. We do have, I believe it was Mastermind next, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I believe it is Mastermind on Wrecker's Yard, which will be a good set to get into. But overall, Corey, I just wanted to ask you.
Hopefully be seeing them do well. So it is the same exact survivor lineup as you saw last match. Well, at least I do believe it is. Hold on. Oh my god. Okay, I think we're having a little bit of production issues once more as well. But I did see Maya Yusser, Revolution, and Fish God playing again. So oh, it might have been Crane. I'm not too sure. Oh my god. James, did you manage to see who was loading in as well?
I didn't actually. It was very, very tarty of me. So that's all right though. I think it was. I think for the most part, it's the exact same survival lineup. So I believe it will be Maya, Fish God, Ysera, and the last one being Revolution. There you go.
Yeah, it was okay. It was the exact same survival lineup, and I did think so. I didn't see anybody drop out and rejoin or anything. So, nevertheless, it will be sent on the mastermind, like we had said in the lobby screen. Now he's just going to be opting to go for some of these survivors that are stealthing around the map, and we found someone very early playing very aggressive. This is our Renato Yusser, who will be playing around this 9 tile here, vaulting the window, not opting to go anywhere other than 9 at the moment. We did see someone cross over at bottom 6 as well. I don't know if anybody went to Specsavers and got their goggles checked, but we're running straight into Sen and eating that tag. Unfortunately, now playing this broken filler, which does tend to be pretty good against the Wesker, the little old hee-hee-ha-ha tile, as I liked to call it last season. And now we're not gonna be able to make that vault. And another very quick down, as we saw last match as well. So again, not the start you want on the side of Rebirth. Now taking this hook nice and early. We found a nice little pain res over at the one side, and we can only hope that the survivors in the background are doing some generators at this point in time, because I don't think that was a lot of time to really get rotating and get some pistons pumping, Jams.
No, you're exactly right, big fella. Yeah, there was seeing quite a very early pool as well come through, and his cross map quite a good pool now that I think about it. As long as the bloke that is on 6 here is able to hide, he's going to go back anyway. So not a bad play from Rebirth. Actually, quite a very able to get the reset as well. Very, very nice. Actually, that is a nice little 1-2. If we're able to stealth off this, actually could put that bad start back just a little bit. We're choosing to pre-leave. I'm not sure if we have found the Renato. We're able to stealth away too with the Urban. So not bad. Able to put a little dent in that good start that Sen had. He does get punished for going cross map, but no, that start was not what you want. Took the tag at a bad tile and just basically died mid. Not making that shack pallet as you usually want to often so do on the Wrecker's Yard on that first chase. But we're going to get another quick down too here. This Matchstick's tile is spelling so much trouble for Rebirth. And honestly, overall, he looks so good. I'll say it for like the 16th time. He's in ripping nick. I love to see when the big fella looks good, and he does look very, very good today.
You see the first generator pop in the background, and I just want to go back and note in that chase that I didn't really like the pathing from Fish God. I didn't really agree with it. They did opt to go all the way down to the that hee-hee-ha-ha tile over at 9 to 10. So just getting a little bit restless there, and I don't really think selecting their pathing quite well, but nevertheless, hopefully they can do a little bit more in this chase. Yeah, they got a broken bus. So, we've played a little bit too far from the pallet there. So very lucky that Sen didn't catch on to that very quickly and try to just M1 through it. Definitely would have got a nice little ping hit. But this will be another very, very quick down. And they're just not really having the greatest of matches. Just the gen pressure isn't able to hold up as well. We do have one over at 50% and we do have one at 25%. But this hook being so close to the one over at 6, it's just spelling absolute trouble. And he's also brought Iron Grasp again, this man. My God, okay. And he has brought the leather gloves, and I do believe is that Tendril. I'm not too sure. I don't really know with this perk pack, unfortunately. I'm not able to tell the add-ons, but nevertheless, going to be taking this chase onto our Renato Yusser, who will be dropping this Shack Pallet instantly. And, it's not the use of Shack Pallet that you really want in this situation, but it is a good one to delay the tag. Nevertheless, he'll be running all the way down to 10. He's going to be getting tagged as well, and I do think Sen's just going to opt to leave this and go back to his hook, and like clockwork, that is exactly what he does. But we do see the FTP coming in hot, as he is pretty far from the hook. We have ventured a little too far away when we were chasing our Renato there, but it's all still well. I think Sen definitely caught on to the fact that, you know, Fish God couldn't have gotten too far. Now we're going to be trying to play this pallet over at 5, pre-dropping that and just faking the vault, but not quite working. Sen a little too smart for those mind games. Going to be slamming Fish God into that car there, and just nowhere to go. As soon as we break this pallet, you're just zoned into bottom 6. Now with the another generator in the background, proc as well. It's not the worst thing in the world, and we have done a little bit of jigging to unzone ourselves all the way more to the central side of the map, but we have absolutely nothing. Are we able to make this vault here? We're going to be trying to play the fake, and I'm not really too sure what that was all about. I think we had to move out of the way of the pallet a little bit, but nevertheless, that will be the first death on the 4K. Sorry, that will be a death on at 2 generators remaining. So, you know, 3v1, 2 generators remaining, definitely still doable to pull yourself out of this position. So, all things aside, I definitely know that Jiggy over at 5 definitely helped the Rebirth to last a little bit longer, and you know, now things are kind of looking a little more up than what they were at the start of the game.
No, yeah, definitely. He's playing well, the big fella. I think, like I said, that pull at the start of the game was able to give them a little bit more time. They were able to stealth a little bit longer. But yeah, the chasers, once he found the Renato, they were just too. Sorry, not the Renato. The I forget what character Fish God was playing, but as soon as he found Fish God, it was, you know, the chasers were just too quick, even though he was able to make that edge 5 and Duke, as you said. But as I speak right on cue, Maya, the injured survivor, of course, you know, only having that 1 health state during that quick chase there is obviously going to result in having a quick chase. It's just really simple as that. When you're on the mastermind on these sort of weaker as tiles, they're not really great. They're playable. They're sort of last hitch effort tiles. I think, you know, you run there after you take tag and try and last after you have nothing. But yeah, I don't know. I think I haven't really seen too many of the fillers being used yet on this map. I've seen Shaq being used, and we are gonna. You can't find that. You can't find that edge map stealth. You just can't.
I looked away for like 2 seconds, but saw it with the corner of my eye. My God, that. Oh, this man definitely went to Specsavers for sure, 100%. But he's gonna be eating that tag revolution, and now Sen's gonna opt to go for Gen Patrol after the hook onto Maya, and we do. Oh my God, he almost done it for a second time. My God, and we have seen him over at the shack, so we'll be taking this chase onto Yusser, who will be playing around the shack. Definitely the survivor who's really shown up in this match. I can't lie, aside from Fish God's last chase, but. Nevertheless, we're going to get this hooked just before the second stage timer, but this will be a trade, and we're going to opt to slug our Renato here, or we're going to opt to go for the pickup for the pain res. I do like this idea. That meaning that Maya can't really get anywhere too far from here. I think really they're only able to make either 9 or 5, wherever they choose to go. And I think after a little bit of indecisiveness, we have seen Maya just go all the way down to 9, and we do see Revolution in the background holding 12, just popping it as soon as we see Sen in our vicinity to make sure that he commits the chase over at 12. And now playing around this dumpster filler very nicely. They have pulled this back so good, but they are all injured. Nobody is healthy at the moment. But the gen spread is so good at the moment. We have Steep 6 mid shack, and I didn't even manage to see where that last generator was, but it would have to be bottom side, and oh no, it was all the way over at 9. So, you know, it definitely still is pretty far spread, 6 and 9. So definitely workable for these survivors. Now they got to opt to go for a little bit of a reset in the background as we chase onto Yusser, who will be going all the way down to 7, not being able to make this pallet, unfortunately, trying to do a little bit of jiggy to kind of dodge, but that's just going to spell his end as Sen blocks the pallet, and now Revolution just splitting up, and not really too sure what the next course of action here is, as we've opted to go for gen pressure as to opposed of resetting and slowing down the game. So not really too sure if I agree with this decision. You know, just as soon as you find someone, 1 tag and they're done and dusted, and a lot of resources on the map that have already been used. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they play this one out.
Yeah, no, exactly right, big man. Good call from you. You're gonna have to look deep. Not really got much progress on this deep 6. I think I think maybe Shaq had a bit of progress, maybe if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure. I don't think it does have a lot, but yeah, no, he's played it well. 4K1 prediction was pretty spot on from you, big fella. I think yeah, no, he played it well even after not really, getting a tunnel out going too early. He had to swap tunnel outs from the Renato onto the, I believe it was a Nia, if I'm not mistaken. But we are going to see scratch marks here down at the bus side. I believe this will be the Claudette, if I'm not mistaken. It is the Claudette, and we are gonna rare fumble from the big man there on the dash. But no, most Ronald, you I was about to say actually got me before I actually made myself look like a fool. He's actually been pretty clinical on the dashes. His mechanics are looking very well. That might have been genuinely out of the two games we've seen him play on Killer, that might have been the first missed power across the two games we've seen. So no, yeah, he's it's good to see him back in form. I love it. I love him.
I'm very interested to see what the percentage rate is on his missed hits, because he doesn't miss very many. When you think of like Sen's killers and the ones he excels in, he doesn't really miss the M2 too often. So, you know, to see that happen over at the bus is like, not 1 in a million, but it's definitely unlikely. You usually expect him to hit those, but he's still in a very good power position for the 4K1, and we're going to be taking this chase onto Revolution, who'll be double vaulting that window and jiggying nicely, able to vault it a third time, but no more vaults. We're going to be trying to play the mind game around this long wall, and now just Revolution reading every single bit of it, but nevertheless, there's no pallet over in the corner here. They're going to have to opt to die all the way down to 12, which means Maya has to just kind of stick that generator over at 6, but a little bit of indecisiveness. Do I stick the gen? Do I go for the unhook? I think you just have to kind of accept the fact that you're getting 4K1'd at this point, because you're just kind of stagnant at the moment, sitting over it, deep 6 pocket. Sen's coming too. He's not going to opt to check all these other generators. He's not going to check 9. He's not really going to check Shaq. And if he does, I might just hang up the mouse here, Jams. I might be eating my words here, but he does. I know he does have eyes on 9, so there's no real reason for him to really go over there. But he's just going to go on Gen Patrol, and he already knows where you are. So we've unzoned ourselves, okay? So we got lucky in the fact that we have stealthed out Sen in that regard, and he has gone 9. Okay, I might just hang up the mouse, I can't lie. But nevertheless, Sen will just be going back to this unhook as soon as it happens, and he's just really protecting it at this point in time. So now double dashing all the way over there. He's going to be trying to catch one of them out, and they're both injured. So they're not really going to be able to make anything else. And we do have Revolution utilizing Sprint Burst to go all the way down to this tile over at 2. Going to be trying to use the pallet, but the ping too strong. And I even think on normal ping, you're not really making that pallet, unfortunately, with the pathing that was given. Just the way the RNG is really lying out for these survivors. And now we have found Maya after slugging Revolution, and this will be the 4K1 secured for Sen, which means that the survivors just need to pop all gens next match on the side of Zetsubou, and it's definitely doable for them. It being their pick, you would imagine, yes, again, that they would be pretty confident on the survivor set now. Maya just going to be trying to play for a little bit here, and Sen going for a little bit of a Sen flick here. What can he do? Am I going to end up on a YouTube video? Not today. Not today. Maybe? I don't know. He might just opt to try for it again. I can't lie. And if he does, and if he hits it, I'm going on a YouTube video.
You can't be doing that, big fella. That looked like the intro of one of his videos, I can't lie. I'll be so for real.
Oh, but you love to see it. This, just whenever he pulls out that tendril over in the corner as well, you just know he's going for one of those flicks, and just I had to say something, didn't I? So now we're just taking the pick onto Revolution, the final pick, if you will, and we'll just go for a hook over at the 3 side. So 4K1, 4K0 for the survivors, and if you're on the side of the killer, you need to be 4K2ing. So I don't know who's going to play Killer for the side of Rebirth. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. I could imagine that it's Crane. I feel like Crane is there. Yeah, hold up, buddy. Am I going to... minus 0.5. I don't know if I just saw some W section there. Nah. But I'm kidding. In all honesty... And
in a good way, not a bad way, but... overall, nah. There's honestly, Blue, there's a lot of good games today, and this has been the first of many, I think. And like I said, it's hard to not keep reiterating how lovely it is to watch these boys play. Silly Grass Mud Horse Sen, Key, the captain himself, and Big Backy. I did see back in the loading screen on a very devious skin that I don't know, bro. I just thought it was a I thought it was like I thought the skin was just homeless. I thought, but apparently it's not homeless skin. So I have no idea what the go was. So I know it's like a hospital gown, but bro.
Have you not seen The Walking Dead? It's such a good show. I advocate that everybody should be watching The Walking Dead. But as we see Silly vault into the loving embrace of our killer here, he's going to opt to go all the way down to Shaq. No, he's just going to go to mid-9 and try to play this color. And we're getting hit through that. A very quick chase. This is exactly what you need if you're on the side of Revolution at the moment. Yeah, looking a lot like what our last game was, but can we pull it back on the side of Zetsubou? Very early days, it can go either way. Now, you know, all it takes is one slip up from Revolution to either lose his tunnel out or just completely get lost in the source when chasing someone else. So, you know, all right off the rip, bro, we're looking pretty good. And now Grass Mud Horse Sen is going to be taking chase amongst this tile here over at the mid-12, and now playing the check spots nicely, trying to look over the top of the wall as well, playing and hugging very nicely. You love to see this. The vault coming in from Revolution over the pallet, and Sen going to be opted to go for the window. This is some beautiful pathing, but unfortunately being caught out. Revolution able to read exactly what Sen was doing there and just get that nice tag onto him, vaulting this window in the shack as well and pre-dropping that, now blinding in the process. We're going to have to listen out for the grunts a little bit, and that's exactly what Revolution has done, continuing on the chase over its mid-10. Broken 4 walls here. Not really much for Sen to work with, but he's opted to go all the way down to the 11 side of the map where we have a broken bus. So it's the weaker bus set, unfortunately, for the side of Sen, but he's able to jiggy around it very nicely, and we've gotten a little bit lost, but Sen's just kind of stuck in the 11 corner. He hasn't really made any distance towards the 12. I did feel it. He broke away to 12, and that would have been miraculous if he did. We're going to go for a ping swing, and we get that. That's absolutely crazy. It is criminal to be on 170 ping and getting slammed from absolute solid wood jumps.
Yes, and even Revolution showing that he's very pleased with himself for getting that one as well. Good nodders from him, and we did see the gen pop in the background, so that is good to see. But that's too fresh right now. So taking a very casual approach to this game, I think, but does look very good on the Wesker. I have to admit, his mechanic, I can see why they picked it. He looks very honed in on his abilities to play Wesker, but we did see not an amazingly long chase from Sen, but quite a good chase, and we are going to see one hopefully now from the big key. He's going to take this probably M2. We are going to see a big jiggy go Fremantle, he says in the back of his mind. And honestly, he makes the shack from there. And I don't even know if he has any pallets on the 9 side of the map. He doesn't. He almost gets caught off on the side there. But honestly, just going to go back to look for grass mud Horsen.
Flag mantle is on. I love those little jiggies over on the side of Key, but now we're taking chase back onto Sen, who's stuck at this 11 filler, but we're not able to really do anything around that rock, unfortunately. The jiggy coming in, the flashlight coming in as well on the side of Sen. Baki coming in for the protection hit. Sen vaulting that window over into this tile over at mid-2. Baki vaulting the pallet. He hasn't lost Sen. He's still chasing Sen. He's lost Sen. He's chasing Baki now. The scratch marks and the grunts of pain getting a little bit confused. Being absolutely peepo fat. Is Baki being thrown into the wall, unfortunately, via the dual beetle. Now vaulting the window over at this deep 12 side, but wrapping around back into mid-12. Not really much for Baki to really work with here, but he does have the pallet. He has vaulted it, and he's playing around it very nicely. He has gotten mind gammed a little bit, going for a little bit of a lock attack, a little bit late on that, and he is just going to be going down at the window. So a lot of mishaps on the sides of both the survivors and the killer here, but we were able to get the down in the end and secure the first stage onto Baki, and a pain res hook at that. So what's the gen pressure looking like and what are our survivors doing in the background at the moment? We see Key just stealth for this pool at the moment. Flag Mantle himself. If we can get a quick rotation to our other survivors to see what they're doing on the map. Maybe our killer has found someone in chase. We get some killer instinct over at 7. I do believe that is someone utilizing a spray can. That is Silly, who's going to be rotating all the way over to the 9 side. And we have seen the generator being worked on in the background over at deep 6. Shallow 6. And we've opted to not go for it. We've gone all the way down to our tunnel out over at the hook here, and we do see someone in the background working that 2 generator. I do believe that is Key, trying to pressure that and try to maybe bait the chase, but we have opted to go for our injured survivor via the blood pools. We do do know that this is Baki who's going to be rotating over 9 now, who's going to be pre-dropping this pallet, rotating over the long wall, and now going all the way down to deep 11. And the background generators must be slamming at the moment. They must be yelling at Baki to make sure to take him as deep here in this deep pocket as possible. We've lost his scratch marks a little bit. We've gone all the way down to 9, and we're really struggling to commit a chase here, Jams. I'm not too sure what the next plan of action for Revolution is.
I guess trying to find Baki, or maybe even trying to find his last plane res, which would be, I believe it's key at this point. We do see 7 popping in the background, but yeah, the problem that you leave yourself in with not going for a tunnel is not having a tunnel, of course, and you're gonna have to play the whole game 4v1 and just wear them down bit by bit. And I don't know if you can wear this team down. They're a bit harder to wear down. Definitely not impossible. I have seen it been done before, but yeah, this is a very, very strong Survivor team to try and play like this again. So we see often we see Mo play like this as well. Mo, absolute great. Had a great first season of OSL, just one of the best players in his first season, which is really, really extravagant to say. But yeah, you usually see him play like this a little bit. Very good to see that Revolution. He does look very confident on the Wesker. I will say that at the very least. That was one of the quickest first chases I've seen on a Wesker set in a while. Onto Silly of all people as well, which is just something you should never speak out loud. Silly getting 2-tapped, just impossible, you'd think. But we are going to finally find Key, and I believe we will commit this, and that's going to be Key's 2 for 2 on the Jiggy there. And as you said, Flagmantle himself just going to be running in the wind, and he is off on his bike, and boy, it is a fast bike, Buller.
Yeah, it's definitely a fast bike. It's one of them Pokemon bikes that you get, but nevertheless, we'll be taking that tag onto Key. He's going to run all the way down to Deep 6 with all these done generators. This is looking pretty dire for our killer at the moment to be chasing this deep into the map. We're going to be throwing that pallet and taking the broken short wall all the way into the deep pocket of 6, and we're going to be going down all the way nice and deep in the corner. Are we going to slug? Are we going to go for generators? We're going to go for the pickup here onto Key. Not too sure if he's been pain res at the moment. We do have 1 extra stack of pain res, but the hooks are all very fast spread. There's no pain res at our disposal at the moment, so I'll be opting to have to take this hook onto Key over at the 7 part of the map. The second last generator in the trial procking in the background. Now, what does Revolution do here? We do have a generator over at 10. We do have one over at 2, and we have one over at 12. That might be 1, actually, but we're going to be taking this kick onto 11, well, 10, which is very, very high progress. And we do see some scratch marks over here at the mid tiles, and we do find Silly here just trying to play these check spots amongst the wall very nicely. And, Revolution falling for the bait. He never took the pallet, so we're vaulting that pallet on the side of Revolution, but we're still opting to chase Silly over at this mid-10 tile, and he'll be just pre-dropping these pallets. And they're just making absolute work of these, weaker tiles as well, and Revolution's really struggling to get this down onto one of the survivors. Everybody nice and healthy. The only downside being Key, who is infected at the moment, but I don't think that'll stay the case for very long. We have decided to chase Sen, who is pressuring this generator over at 11, but we're really struggling here on the side of Revolution, unfortunately, so I don't even know if they're really working that 2 generator, if they have any time to work it. I think he's been trying to keep a keen ear out for it as he's chasing survivors over at that mid-12, but he's never really going to know unless he checks it, and that's exactly what he's doing at the moment. So we see Silly a little bit lost on where to go at the moment. Does he go for 10 or does he go for 2? I think he just goes for 2 because he's a lot more closer to 2. Sen still working over at 10. Oh, this is just absolutely beautiful stuff from the survivors to be able to play this nice chase game, if you will, this cat and mouse or whatever you want to call it on these generators here, Jams.
Yeah, I tried to tell you before, big fella, I don't know if you can really wear this team down, and obviously I can't speak directly to Revolution, but maybe if I could mentally, connect to link minds with him, I would have told him, I don't know if you can really do this, but, he knows now, and they're playing really, really well. They're really, honestly, in the position to pop 6 gens, and on cue, we do see that 5th generator being popped, and onto Baki as well, who I believe is just going to be another juke as well onto Baki. Revolution standing still, maybe just a bit displeased with himself. Maybe if he was setting the Wincon Hunter, I feel like he would have been a better result, Went for his 4 fresh early. Wasn't able to get the pain res on Key when he sort of needed it. Key died in a really, really, exquisite spot. And honestly, well played to Key on this last set. He was kind of the, I'm hoping, with the level of skill of this team is at, I would believe that you know, die deep 6, there's no pain res would definitely be a con. We do see Sen here playing a bit cheeky. He does have sprint burst up, and now he's putting himself in a bit of a peculiar position where we're going to have to body block, and now Key's probably going to get thrown, and the Beetle's going to come out a bit strong here, and oh, we've sent it a little bit early. We're going to rush. We're going to body block Sen, though. We are going to get a couple more stages more than we should. We're blind as well, Revolution as well, but we are going to get a couple more stages onto Sen. I don't think anyone's in a position to get the beamer, but that won't matter anyway. That will be Zetsubou with the 2-0. Very iconic performance, Bulla. GG's to both sides, and yeah, I can't wait for the next matchup we have, Bulla.
Oh, it's not over until it's over. He's taking the hook and they're going to go for the save at the moment. It's looking pretty dicey, but it definitely still is doable once someone gets tagged. This one straight down to the door. We do have Backy on one side, Key on the other. Silly still has an exit by the exit gate as well, so he's just sitting over there. I don't really know how this is going to pan out. They're really playing for the best possible result. We're going to go for the reset onto Silly as well, so we do have Key just nice and set up for this unhook on the 10 side of the map now. It's looking very, yeah, Revolution's just like, no, this is my kill. Let me have the extra stages here. He's just holding up the Ouroboros there. And oh, what are they going to pull out the hat here? So Silly gets tagged. Oh, wait, that's a double tag. So Key gets infected from that as well. But we're not able to really do anything. And I do think this will spell the end for Key. And they're just going to take these outs here, surely, and just kind of move the game along. Or, okay, so we've ran back into the map on the side of Sen. So maybe we're not completely done with this. We're going to be running all the way down to the Shack side. Key's still kind of slugged over here at corner 10. And now we're going to be picking him up and hooking him straight back on. So I do believe this is his death, if I'm not mistaken, or second stage at the very least, but I do believe that he is. No, yeah, he's second stage. Okay, so I'm just smashed, but we do take the hook onto Key now, and I think Silly and Sen are going to go for a little bit of a reset over at the Shack side, and Revolution just no. Okay, so we've gone for a little bit closer to the gate, and Sen just being caught out, unfortunately, but thrown, not slammed, and they're just going to be taking these out. So in the end, around it was 6 stages, I do believe, if I'm counting that correctly. 7 stages on death, so never mind. We will be moving on into the next series of the night, which is Fogbound versus Pay Money to My Pain, 2 very new teams. Very well played to both teams for this series, but